don't think he can win the fight?
I don't think he's as good as he says he is.
Doesn't matter. I want to know why he doesn't deserve a fight. That can be said of 90. I can say the same thing about David. I can say the same thing about David Benavidez.
Right, but he hasn't done anything in the boxing game for him to deserve it.
Yes, he has.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't.
Absolutely, he has. Enrique, how can I embarrass you today, bro?
Hey, how's it going, Fanon? I heard a subject about Crawford and Canelo.
Is it news?
No,
you're giving me news?
No. I want to state my opinion about this, about what's going on with Canelo and Crawford. Personally, I mean, Crawford's a great fighter. My opinion is that he did beat Spence, and I got that after the fight that everyone says that he's the best pound for pound fighter.
Hey, man, can you give me your conclusion and then give me your argument so I can know what you're going to say and judge it?
Well, my conclusion
in a sentence. What is your in a sentence?
Canelo beats Crawford.
So you want to talk about whether or not Terence Crawford can actually win the fight?
That's right.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, like I said,
you know that's not what we're talking about, though, right?
Well, the topic is that if he deserves
it, is whether or not he deserves it, not whether or not he wins.
Right. I don't think he deserves it.
Okay, so what's your criteria for deserving a fight?
At 154, he couldn't even knock out the Ukrainian guy. He had no power. He couldn't take him out. The Ukrainian guy, if he would have pressed the gas pedal, could have knocked out Crawford, because there was no way Crawford could go ahead and knock out the Ukrainian fighter. Canelo has.
What does that have to do with Canelo, bro? You're talking about whether or not Canelo can win the fight. Again, you're talking about whether or not Terence can win it. That's not the topic. I can argue that anybody will lose a fight. That doesn't mean they don't deserve it because I think they're going to lose. A mandatory deserves a fight because he's the mandatory, not because you don't think he can win. You don't have to think somebody can win a fight for him to deserve the fight. If that's the case, then nobody deserves a fight with Canelo if you think he's the best. So let's get back to the subject of deserving and not whether or not you think he can win.
I don't think Crawford deserves a shot.
So do you have a reason? Do you have a reason other than the fact that you don't think he can win the fight?
I don't think he's as good as he says he is.
Doesn't matter. I want to know why he doesn't deserve a fight. That can be said of 90. I can say the same thing about David. I can say the same thing about David Benavidez.
Right, but he hasn't done anything in the boxing game for him to deserve it.
Yes, he has.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't.
Absolutely, he has.
What do you mean? Who has he fought that we could say
he's fought four people? Man, first of all, dude, Enrique, I am not going to spend a lot of time with somebody that is fucking stupid. So we're going to have to stop doing the same shit and having the same goddamn conversations every time. It does not matter whether or not you think he can beat Terence Canelo or not, because every single solitary boxing match, there is a favorite and an underdog. Every fight. So not being an underdog in a fight does not eliminate you from qualifying to have one. Also, there's a bunch of people that think that they're better than they really are. So what if he thinks he's better than he is? So what? People deserve a fight if they're a boxer? Check. World champion? Check. Multiple time world champion? Check. Big pay-per-view performance? Check. Name recognition? Check.
Like I said, Crawford, just because Crawford, he thinks he deserves a fight. That's another topic you've been hinting on. Crawford doesn't deserve a fight just because he's a black fighter.
I didn't say, I never mentioned him being black.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't say he deserved it because he was black. I did not. Liar, I did not say that. I said I support him because I support black fighters. I said he deserves it Because he has the accolades and the skills for the fight. That's what I said.
Deserve it because he's black. That's what you're telling me.
I did not say he deserves it because he's black.
Oh,
that's a lie. I could tell you a bunch of, matter of fact, let me just get rid of that lie. Let me tell you a bunch of black fighters that do not deserve a fight with Canelo Alvarez. I am black and I do not deserve a fight with Canelo Alvarez. Tevin Farmer is black. He doesn't deserve a fight with Canelo Alvarez. Devin Haney is black. He does not deserve a fight with Canelo Alvarez. What number of black people do you want me to give to you that do not qualify because they're black? Because I can name off 100 of them. And when I get done with 100 that don't qualify because they're black, I'm going to then lay out why I actually think he deserves it. And I'm only going to point to his skill and his accomplishments, which are vast and absolutely beyond argument. You are focused on race, not me.
Well, I disagree, but that's fine. You have your own
You
opinion.
can disagree to your purple in the fucking face.
Okay.
You keep telling me that I said things that I didn't say. I do not think Terence Crawford deserves that fight because he's black. And it is absolutely irrelevant to my calculation as to whether he deserves the fight or not. My question is not whether he deserves it all, because that is some bullshit, subjective bullshit. I want to know whether he's qualified for the fight or not.
Not at
Canelo's
level. He's not as qualified.
Excuse me, Slowpoke. I'm not done.
Okay.
I am not talking about the word deserve, because that shit is subjective and I don't give a fuck. I want to know whether he qualifies for the job or not.
No, he does not.
He absolutely does qualify for the job. He is a professional fighter. He is a top 2 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. He has the same arm reach as Canelo. He's the same height as Canelo. They've competed in the same division. They have common opponents. Do you forget that they have common opponents?
Like
Amir
who?
Khan. So
okay.
They have both fought in 2 of the same weight classes, both 147 and 154. The only thing that separates a fight at 168 with Canelo is that Terence Crawford hasn't fought at 160 yet. But seeing as he fought at 135, 140, 147, and 154, that's 4 divisions. Canelo went from 147 to 154 to 160 to 168. Those are 4 divisions from where he originally was. The fact of the matter is, Terence Crawford only turned pro at 7 pounds less than Canelo Alvarez did. Canelo campaigned at 147. Terence Crawford began his career at 140. He went down and back up. Canelo just went up. He is absolutely qualified for the job. If he's not qualified for the job, you cannot name me a single solitary person that is qualified for the job. None.
I'd much rather see Benavidez with Canelo.
That's who you would prefer to see. It's not a question of whether or not Terence Crawford is qualified.
Crawford has no chance in hell in beating
I
Canelo.
don't care if you think he has a chance or not. The question is he qualified?
No, not to
You're a fucking lie. You know goddamn well he is. And you know
level. No.
You know full well that he's qualified to fight.
Did you see him at 154?
Yeah, he won a fight.
Yeah, and he wasn't
You're a fucking buffoon, bro. Canelo Alvarez got beat up at 154 by a 147 pounder. It did not keep him from being qualified.
Who's that? Who was that?
Floyd.
Yeah,
Floyd whooped up
Canelo at that point was a youngster.
Canelo, you fucking racist. Floyd whooped Canelo, and Canelo still was able to move up and fight somebody for a championship at 175. Canelo lost and wasn't disqualified. But an undefeated fighter, you want to disqualify him for a win. You won't disqualify from Canelo for 2 losses. 1 to Bivol, 1 to Floyd. That doesn't disqualify him. But a performance where you win disqualifies Bud. You got some mighty interesting logic. It's almost like you got one standard for one group of people and another standard for another group of people.
That's not true. Don't make this a race game, okay?
I didn't. Oh, you're making it one.
No, you keep hitting on that.
Shut up. All I said is you got 2 double standards, dummy. I didn't even mention race, dummy. You keep doing it. I said Canelo has a standard. I didn't say a Mexican does. Canelo qualifies even though he lost. But Terence Crawford is disqualified because he won. That's 2 standards for 2 different people. One guy you like and one guy you don't. Let me remind you, Canelo is not undefeated. He has lost fights at 175. He's lost fights at 154. And multiple people said he lost to Trout and Lara. So how in the world does one bad performance disqualify him from a guy that has had multiple bad performances against guys that are not as good as Terence Crawford?
There's a lot of fighters out there that could deserve a shot with Canelo.
Exactly. There's a lot. So stop saying Bud ain't one of them. Thank you. Get your dumb ass off.